The Newsday continues here in One News Now. I am Diego Castro. The Senate has ratified the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, with more than two-thirds of the chamber voting in favor of the trade deal. Exactly 20 senators voted to ratify the RCEP, while one vote against and another abstained. The RCEP is a free trade deal between 10 countries, which would lower or remove tariffs for select products. Senate President Mig Zubiri welcomed the ratification of the RCEP, saying that the Philippines cannot put off joining the deal any longer. Despite pushing for the RCEP, Senator Amy Marcos abstained from voting for its ratification. The senator says lawmakers should have considered the livelihood of local farmers and producers first.
Ang aking paninindigan hindi bilang kapatid sa kapangyarihan, kundi bilang anak ng legasiya ng aking ama, na laging unahin ang maliliit, ang mga nagsasaka ng lupa at ng lahat ng mga nangangailangan. Pahintulutan ninyo akong hindi lumahok sa botohang ito, di dahil umiiwas sa katungkulan, kundi hanggang sa panahong ito, bigo pa rin ang nakararami sa bukid.
On the other hand, Senator Risa Hontiveros, the lone senator who opposed the RCEP, raises doubts that the deal would benefit the country. Hontiveros also remains unconvinced that the deal would not pose security and health risks for Filipinos.
The calculations for me are simple, Mr. President. Dapa na po ang ating agrikultura. Hindi pa tayo nakakaahon sa pandemya. This is not the time for RCEP.
Key government officials have welcomed the Senate's ratification of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP. NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan says the move would boost the country's position as an ideal investment hub in the ASEAN region. For Finance Chief Ben Diokno, RCEP is key to a more open and transparent trade and to an expanded market access of the country. House Speaker Martin Romualdez believes that it could attract more investors, create more jobs, and curb unemployment and poverty rates. RCEP consolidates existing ASEAN free trade agreements among members and covers trade in goods and services, among others. In other news, lawmakers in the lower house raised concerns over the preferred reward system for informants of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. PDEA Chief Virgilio Lazo revealed that there were assets or informants who would ask for 30% of illegal drugs seized during operations. However, Lazo assured that such a reward system had not been tolerated since he sat as PDEA Chief. Still, the revelation did not sit well with Surigao del Norte Representative Ace Barbers. Barbers believes this is the reason why streets cannot be rid of illegal drugs despite the aggressive campaign. Speaking to The Big Story, Barber said he believes that the reward system should not be removed and should instead be improved by raising monetary reward for informants.
Information coming from assets or informers have produced quite a significant achievement, no, by the PDEA and the Philippine National Police. And dapat nga siguro improve pa natin yung reward, no? Kasi that will entice all these informers to provide information that will cause the arrest, apprehension of the drug syndicates and its members. So kasi ang ceiling apparently is only up to 2 million, no? If there is an information that there is drugs being traded in the amount of billions of pesos, I guess 2 million is too small. So kung pwede nga, palakihin pa natin.
Suspected New People's Army rebels reportedly killed 2 members of a Philippine Army rescue team on a mission to find the crashed Cessna plane. The slain soldiers were identified as Private John Paul Adalim and Private Mark June Eschico, members of the Army's 31st Infantry Battalion. The Southern Luzon Command said the 2 soldiers were at the market in Barangay Cotmon, Camalig Town, to resupply their unit's needs when 5 armed men ambushed them around 7 a.m. Meanwhile, the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines says the wreckage found near the crater of Mayon volcano was that of the missing Cessna 340A. Earlier today, the search and rescue team, using a military chopper and aircraft, attempted to reach the wreckage site 3 times but failed due to strong winds in the area. The CAAP said the team will also try to use all-terrain vehicles to reach the crash site if the weather is good.
Tatlong attempt ang ginawa kanina, hindi makatipid yung mga helicopters dahil due to bad weather. At very dangerous naman doon sa mga rescuers natin just in case. Kaya maghintay tayo kumanda yung weather.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Senator Risa Hontiveros reveals an alleged government-sponsored smuggling of sugar. Hontiveros said more than 200 containers of imported sugar arrived at Batangas port on February 9. That's 6 days before the Sugar Regulatory Administration released an official importation order.
Because it seems that there are people who are jumping the gun. Mayroon mga advance mag-isip. My information coming from producer organizations and corroborated by independent sources is that on February 9th, a shipment of sugar in 260 20-foot containers arrived in the port of Batangas. Ang importer na ito, di umano, ay All Asian Counter Trade Incorporated.
Hontiveros bear that a prior importation letter was signed by Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban. Panganiban was allegedly acting upon the instructions of Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin.
If it were genuine, marami ang kailangang linawin ng pinakamatataas na opisyal sa DA at sa Malacanang na kapwa kanang kamay ng presidente. What other conclusion can be drawn other than that is government-sponsored smuggling? Who is responsible for this?
Senator Francis Tolentino hit the Health Department over the wastage of 44 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines. Tolentino says the wastage is a result of the procurement of nearly expired vaccines, distribution delays, and improper handling of vaccines. However, Vince Dizon, former chief implementer of the National Task Force Against COVID-19, says the previous administration was simply strict with its first-in, first-out policy for vaccines. Tolentino also questioned the method of disposal for the expired vaccines, saying that simply burning the doses was not enough.
Yes, environmentally, that may not be sound. That may also be hazardous. Where do we dump the 44 million wasted vaccines? Cremation probably would not be enough because these are living protein mRNA viruses. So they were talking of protocols, but I think there has got to be a joint task force with DNR concerning this.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register an account now at signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I am Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.